Well, good afternoon to those on the Hawaiian Islands. Good evening to most of America. And good morning to those across the pond and around the world. You're listening to Earth Changes TV Radio Hour. My name is Mitch Battros, and I'm your host. All right. Boy, are you as excited as I am? I bet you are. I can tell by the numbers that are coming in. It's phenomenal. Thank you so much, folks, for making the show so popular. And the word is certainly getting around thanks to you. And, I don't think it'll be too long before we are the mainstream media. How about that? Matter of fact, we've been inching our way towards that for some time. Many of us have had an insight, an intuitive, oh my gosh, holy cow, I think we just broke another record. I wonder if it's because of what Greenspan had to say. I don't know, man. There's a lot of people who are really interested in tonight's show. Oh, this just really tickles me. Well, welcome to the show, and for those of you that are tuning in for the very first time, well, sit down, relax, get yourself some, some hot tea perhaps for those of you in Europe and actually most countries around the world where tea is still the number one soft drink, or the number one beverage rather. And relax, because we are in for a ride. So let me just jump right into our breaking news events. I'm going to kind of keep it short because I want to allow Ian Lungold as much time as possible. Okay, here we go. For those of you that do receive our newsletter, you were the first to know that we experienced an X-class flare yesterday. It occurred 2 hours before I went on air with last night's show. That'd be February 25th. Tonight being live broadcast, as we always do, February 26th, this Thursday. An X-class flare. Really, folks, it took everybody by surprise, and as you know, I have a direct connection with the top of the top in space weather and earth science. There is no higher authorities than the people I network with, and they were all surprised. It came from sunspot 564, I believe it was, a rather large sunspot, and boom, off it went. It was so fast. Catching people off guard that they really didn't even know if a CME, and this is a quote, I'm not sure, or we suspect that a CME occurred. They weren't even sure. I can only guess that perhaps one of the guys there in Boulder, Colorado was maybe not manning his station. Of course, the instruments would pick it up, and I do believe a CME has now been recorded just after this sudden X-class flare. Well, I imagine you got the news about the near asteroid collision, folks. My gosh, this thing, it was heading towards us. They were literally ready to push the red button, get on the phone to Bubba Bush, and put out an all points warning. Now, would the White House have followed through with that? That's still a question we'll never know. But 9 hours, just 9 hours before hitting the red button, they decided to stand down after there was a brief clearing in the sky, and one of our amateur astronomers was able to not see the asteroid. In other words, according to its trajectory, it would have been seen in this particular spot of the sky if, in fact, it was on a collision course. Seriously, this is what movies are made of. And again, it reminds us all that we're NASA, JPL, and all the amateur astronomers really are only tracking about 15%, which is a large increase, about a 5% increase. It was 10%, which of course means that 85% are uncharted. So who knows what will occur. Now, isn't this interesting? We have an X-class flare, near collision asteroid, and 2 comets coming into our orbit, or at least our way, where it will be so close in May and April. First, of course, I'm sorry, I don't have the comet names. It's on the website. Go to the earthchangestv.com, go to our breaking news page. You'll see it all there. But it is close enough. They're really not that large, by the way, folks. These are not large comets as far as comets go. But it will be close enough where it will be visible for days with the naked eye, with an unassisted vision. So how exciting all this stuff. Okay, finally, a fourth earthquake has occurred just 200 miles south of Yellowstone supervolcano. Now, that in and of itself is alarming to some. It was a 3.5, by the way. But what is even of more serious concern is the formation of these last 4 earthquakes that Earth Changes TV has an exclusive in reporting. And, of course, you know of the investigative journalism that we did to get to the truth. We confronted, and we have it all on tape. It's up on the audio archive, folks, with the assistant administrator of the USGS out of Golden, Colorado, and the lead supervisor of the Wyoming Seismology Center about these events. I don't want to take the time to go into it now. Most of you already know, but how fascinating is that? The concern is the formation of the earthquakes is taking the shape of a donut. It's called the donut theory. What that means is that, and this, I believe, came out of California, and when earthquakes had occurred, smaller magnitude earthquakes, the ones we're talking about now, from a 3.0 to 3.5 to a 4, and it occurs in a circular manner, that often it is a precursor to a large earthquake to occur right in the middle. Now, it just so happens that not too far from the epicenter is Yellowstone supervolcano. Stay tuned for this. All right, now finally, remember, you might have read my article about the climate change. It simply means global warming in disguise, and I really hacked on that stupid Pentagon paper that's running around the internet, which is, in my opinion, bunk. But I won't. But anyway, let me just. A article came out. How fast is this for a response? Where they are now. This comes from the AFP, where they are including Andrew Marshall, who is the influential Pentagon advisor who put this silly thing out. Are now admitting that it was promoted by environmental activists. What a surprise. The whole article, I'm just putting it up tonight. I encourage you to read it. And basically it says what my last article told you it was going to say, that all this hoopla is nothing but environmental activists running around trying to shoot the flares off. And I'm sorry, folks, it's just not going to work. Now, having said that, let me just remind you that I am not anti-environmentally conscious. I definitely support being responsible. I recycle, I ride my bike when I can, believe me, all those things. But these radical environmental activists would lead you to believe that the climate change we're experiencing today and will increase in the near future is related to us, that it's related to fossil fuel and other human pollutants, 100%. And it's bunk. I'm telling you, we would see what we're seeing today if there were no humans on Earth. I don't think I can be any more clear than that. However, having said that, we do have an influence to correct about 12 to 15, some even say 18%, but it's not going to change the climate phenomena or the cyclical events that are going to occur, but we could have cleaner air. And what's wrong with that? All right, there's my piece. Now, to why we all have gathered here today, and that is for our good friend Ian Lungold.